Lacroix. Here's the latest from Simon Phillips. Exclusive via Simon Phillips, saying Chelsea are closing in on signing Max Lacroix. Negotiations with Crystal Palace are in the final stages. Personal terms have already been verbally agreed and the defender is keen on the move. Chelsea remain confident of getting the deal done. Right? Now, I want to add this. Crystal Palace are braced for interest in Max Lacroix to intensify now his World Cup is over. Chelsea are keen on him and he is one of their centre-back options, but are yet to open formal talks with Palace. Palace would seek more than the £55 million. This was yesterday, by the way. I'm re-referencing this because we heard about interest from Arsenal. Yeah, I'm about to show you where they stand. Personally, I'm expecting around a £60 million package to be done for Max Lacroix. If it's not already done. Listen, I actually have on this, I have no doubts, Lacroix will be a Chelsea player. Max Lacroix will be joining Chelsea Football Club. Now, on Arsenal's end, why we can start reading in between the lines, check this out. Check this out carefully. Yourself, why? I expect a Lacroix to Chelsea deal done to be announced very shortly. I do. And that would be fantastic. That would be amazing. Just ask, why have Arsenal moved away? And now they're just looking at Console, all of a sudden their interest is called out of nowhere. Deal's done. Deal's done, lads. Deal's done. Let's see. But they were also talking about, because this was the play that was talking about Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. It was all happening. All it took was Chelsea to come in with a bit more money and for Xabi Alonso to have an extended conversation with him and for Cole Palmer to be able to pull some strings and Morgan Rogers preferring Chelsea instead of Arsenal. I didn't think we'd be here saying this. Yeah, I had it. I personally, just it was my opinion. I was like, there's no way. Surely he's going to Arsenal, right? Surely. So, no. Turns out we have Paul. Turns out we do. And long may that continue. So, let me know your thoughts. I'm just saying, Morgan Rogers gets through the door. Lacroix will be the next one through the door. Is my understanding. Let's see. Now, this is interesting. Let me know your thoughts. This is interesting. What I'm about to show you, okay, is going to trigger some people, but I'm going to try and calm some people.
Assist for one of the biggest goals that we have scored in recent World Cup memory. This is a brilliant deal for Chelsea. I know people will talk about the price. It will put pressure on Morgan Rogers. 117 million quid is a lot of money. But if you watch the video that we posted this morning, I do think there could be a little bit of scratching Villa's back here so that Aston Villa come in and give us cash for either a Nicholas Jackson, maybe a Garnacho, or potentially anybody else that we can send to the Midlands. So let's take a little look again, just more confirmation here. CFC price, Morgan Rogers has passed his Chelsea medical, and that has been confirmed by many of the Chelsea journalists. So let's first of all take a little look at the latest here regarding how this impacts Chelsea in the transfer market. Because when you spend 117 million, it's an awful lot of money. And people this summer, myself included, I'll hold my hands up. I didn't think Chelsea had the cash to be able to go and drop 117 million as a fixed fee. Now, to explain a little bit about how that works, a lot of the times there will be a deal where the majority of the deal and the finances behind it are made up with add-ons, payments that come later so that you can stagger the payments. So, for example, it could be 40 million plus add-ons. Those add-ons could be 25 million. Like when Chelsea bought Esteval. If Esteval does certain things at Chelsea, we have to pay Palmeiras further money. Now, with this one, 117 million quid. This is absurd amounts of money. It's one of the biggest, highest deals in Premier League history. And this is a massive sign of intent from Chelsea. And like I've always said, right, I will criticise these owners when I feel like it's necessary. but I will also praise when a deal deserves to be praised. This is a massive sign of intent from Chelsea Football Club. This is a player who is Premier League proven. This is an example of the club saying something and actually following through with their words. So well done. Credit where credit is due. I think there's a long way to go. I don't necessarily think Morgan Rodgers all of a sudden makes Chelsea...
Stamford Bridge is about to get another new face. And this one isn't a striker, isn't a winger, it's a defender Xabi Alonso has wanted since the window opened. Crystal Palace's Max Lacroix, the France international who's quietly been one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League for the last year. And now, Chelsea are closing in. If this goes through, it changes everything at the back for Chelsea. Stick around, because I'm breaking down the numbers, the timeline, and exactly why Alonso has made this man his priority. This deal didn't come out of nowhere. Chelsea have been circling Lacroix since the early weeks of the summer window. At one point, reports had 4 different clubs in the race: Liverpool, Aston Villa, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea, all keeping tabs on the 26-year-old. But according to Team Talk, Lacroix has been Chelsea's first-choice central defensive target all summer. Team Talk. And here's the part that matters most. This isn't a one-sided pursuit anymore. Personal terms have already been agreed in principle between Chelsea and the players' representatives. Team Talk. That's a massive step. When personal terms are done, the only thing left standing between a player and a new home is the fee between the two clubs. Fabrizio Romano flagged this move weeks before it picked up real steam. On his channel, he explained that Lacroix ranks higher on Chelsea's list than Jacobo Ramon, and that the defender himself is open to the move. When Romano puts a player above another target on a club's internal list, that's not gossip, that's insider positioning. Let's talk money, because this is where the deal is being fought right now. Crystal Palace paid roughly £18 million for Lacroix back when he arrived from Wolfsburg in 2024. Now, after 2 outstanding seasons at Selhurst Park, they're not letting him go cheap. Sky Sports report that Palace want more than the £55 million Tottenham paid Brighton for Jan-Paul van Heck. Sky Sports before they'll sanction the sale. Chelsea's opening offers didn't hit that number. Reports from journalist Alan Nixon suggest Chelsea have pushed their bid up to around £52 million, with Palace holding firm above that. Basically, we're talking about a £3 million gap between two clubs, pocket change at this level of business, and exactly the kind of gap that gets closed in the final stretch of a window. Palace's dilemma is a familiar one for a club at their level. Selling a key defender for triple what they paid is good business on the balance sheet. But replacing a centre-back who helped deliver silverware at Selhurst Park isn't easy, no matter how much cash lands in the account. So why Lacroix? Why not a cheaper option, or a younger prospect? Because Alonso isn't just filling a gap, he's building a defensive spine for the next several years. Lacroix checks every box on his list. He's proven himself in the Premier League, he's an established international with France, and he's been tested in high-pressure European football. At 26, he's not a gamble. He's a defender who's already shown he belongs at this level. And crucially, Lacroix has chosen not to open contract talks at Palace, the pride of London, a clear signal that he sees his future elsewhere. Add to that his call-up to France's 26-man World Cup squad this summer, the pride of London, and you can see why Alonso rates him as a defender ready-made for a bigger stage.